Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's your boy D Black coming to you with the WrestleMania 42 Night 1 review. Alright, WrestleMania 42 wasn't a show that I'm sure that a lot of people was expecting. I mean, it was very disappointing. I'm sure all the people who spent all that money there, I'm hoping, maybe the new crowd maybe enjoyed it, but for us old people who know what wrestling is all about, it was not a good show. It was not a good show. WWE is in very much chaos, and I was hoping that WrestleMania they could rebound and give us a good night one show. The night two show we'll see tomorrow how that's going to end and everything. Will it recover for this show being such a crap show or what? But anyway, we're going to go match by match and how it started. All right, we get John Cena as the host. He comes out. He's telling everybody that up until WrestleMania got ready to start, there was some chaos. Things were unpredictable. Didn't know how the show was gonna, how the show was gonna turn out, how they were gonna get matches going on the show and stuff like that. I mean, that's the truth because some of these matches that we got, hmm, uh, and then he said, the people that are here, they got to, step up and deliver. And they did not. Not on night one show. Did not happen. So let's get to it. All right. The first match was a six-man tag. We had Jimmy and Jay Uso with LA Knight going against Division, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and then they had ISHOWSPEED. For a minute there, ISHOWSPEED gets a little headlock on LA Knight, and then the match gets going and stuff, and then at one point, um, ISHOWSPEED, does some. Actually, he gets thrown into Logan Paul. Logan Paul gets knocked off the ropes and everything, and then he gets hit with the Austin Theory gets hit with the BFT and stuff, and then he gets pinned. And Logan Paul gets into the match. After the match is over, Logan Paul gets into the ring. He blames ISHOWSPEED for, losing the match and everything. And then he starts to attack him and stuff, you know, kind of beats him up a little bit. Then he throws him on the announcer's table like he's gonna climb up, and splash ISHOWSPEED on the announcer's table as he's done before to other wrestlers. Excuse me. Then LA Knight knocks him off, knocks Logan Paul off the top rope, and everything falls to the ground. Then he, starts beating up on him and everything. Then he lays him on the announcer's table. Then they kind of pick up ISHOWSPEED, and LA Knight's trying to get him to get his mind together and everything. So he tells him to climb up on the top rope and everything and to dive on Logan Paul. And that's what he does. He climbs on the top rope and he splashes Logan Paul through the table and stuff. Now, for most of you people, that would be, great, but it made zero sense, And why would they pick up ISHOWSPEED, pull him in just to turn on him because they lost the match? Really didn't make any sense. I mean, we have Jimmy and Jay Uso who just lost the belts to Logan Paul and Austin Theory, which why they couldn't just have a rematch, and could have set LA Knight up with somebody else, as far as WrestleMania is concerned, because none of the tag belts were on display for WrestleMania and stuff. But anyway, the Usos and LA Knight they win that match, and then we move on to Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, and this match was an unsanctioned match. And this match should have been everywhere. I mean, they advertised it as it was going to be a knockout, drag out, and everything. I mean, they gave us a little something, but it wasn't what I was really expecting. I was expecting, more color and stuff, and we didn't get really hardly any of that. You know, um, we got a belt, we got tables and everything and stuff like that. Two Box was involved in it and stuff like that. So I mean, they did do their thing. They did brawl. I was expecting them to be more on the outside of the ring and stuff, going to the audience and everything, giving some of the audience you know, a closer look on, what was going on and stuff like that. But no, they kept it inside the ring area and stuff. And then Jacob Fatu ends up hitting Drew McIntyre with the moonsault through a table, pins him, and that was that match. And then we get the women's tag team title match. We have Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Bailey, Lyra Vaquer, Nia Jax, Last Legend, who were the champions. And then we have Brie, and it was supposed to be Nikki Bella, but since Nikki Bella couldn't perform, she said that they have somebody that they've been talking to take her place, and then out comes Paige. The audience goes wild and everything and stuff like that. But I mean, Paige has been there before. She's an okay wrestler. We'll see what it brings. But anyway, the match itself, I mean, it was kind of crazy a little bit, And I mean, it was okay and stuff. Nothing what I thought it was going to be. I mean, because you're talking about, we got Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, Bailey, Lyra Vaquer, and there were all these stars in here. And it really wasn't the match that I thought the match would be. And actually it seemed like it was a real short match also. But anyway, it was ended up with Nikki Bella hitting Charlotte Flair with a crutch and everything, and then Alexa Bliss was going to get up on the top rope and do a twisted bliss. But anyway, Paige catches it and lifts a knee. Alexa Bliss lands on the knees, and then Paige rolls her up, and then Paige and Brie are now the new women's world tag team champion. Go figure. Okay, we're gonna touch that on another video. And then we have Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Okay, and another match that was like, come on. So we've seen this before. We know AJ Lee has beaten Becky Lynch. I guess 3 times she tapped her out, whatever the case may be, and stuff. This match, I mean, it really wasn't anything. I kind of like the intro that AJ Lee, had when she came out to little kids and stuff like that. That was cool and stuff. Becky Lynch, she came out with the band who sings the song and stuff. Thought that was pretty cool. But as far as the match was concerned, it was a lazy match. I mean, they were just switching each other's, finishing moves and stuff like that. And then you got AJ getting back into the Black Widow, but Becky was able to get out of that and everything. She takes off the top of the turnbuckle, and then her and the referee kind of get involved and everything, which is crazy because Becky almost got disqualified and stuff because her and this referee do not get along. But anyway, AJ Lee tries to come in, to do a splash and stuff like that. Becky pulls the referee in. AJ Lee hits the referee. The referee, falls out and everything. And then Becky takes AJ Lee and bounces her off the turnbuckle. And then Manhandle slams AJ Lee. And she wins and retains the women's IC title. So Becky Lynch wins the title. And then we get the match with Gunther versus Seth Rollins. This match, I kind of like, let's talk about the entrance. Seth Rollins' entrance was kind of cool, with them eyes. The eyes were kind of a little deep. They were a little bit kind of scary and everything like that. The jacket that he had on and everything had smoke coming out of it, which I thought was pretty cool. Kind of reminded me of like he was like a sleeve stack or something like that. You know, um, but anyway, the match gets going. These two guys, I mean, it was not a great match. It was an okay match, but like I said, it could have been a match that could have been on either Saturday night main event or it could have been, a main event on Raw, something like that. But anyway, they Gunther, you know, um gets hit by a Seth Rollins stomp, and he kicks out of it. And then Seth, I mean, Gunther gets Seth Rollins into a chokehold And then Seth Rollins gets out of the chokehold. It was just like they were trying to, they got in each other's, you know, finishing, moves, and they, kicked out and stuff like that. And then Seth, gets Gunther on the table, and he, stomps his head on the table. And then Seth gets off the table and everything. And then here comes Braun Breaker, and he spears Seth Rollins. And he puts Seth Rollins down hard. Then Gunther comes out, and he puts Seth Rollins to sleep. And he wins the match. Now this match they should have let this match go, but I guess you figure Seth Rollins comes and says that he's going to destroy, the vision because he was the one that came, and thought of the vision and stuff like that. And then, a few months back, Braun Breaker did take, Seth Rollins out of the game, and then they actually put him out of the vision. So that was weird. And then Seth Rollins comes back. So I guess this is going to lead something. I'm sure by Backlash, this is going to probably be one of the matches, Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and stuff like that. And then once Braun Breaker, speared Seth Rollins, he told Seth Rollins that, when he put him down before, when Seth came in the masked guy and stomped him and everything, and then put him out for a minute, he told him he should have got the job done. And then Braun Breaker goes up the ramp, and him and Paul Heyman, they give a hug to each other. Alrighty, and that match is over. And then we get Liv Morgan against Stephenie Vaquer. Now I thought this match was going to be the way that they did their little promos, how Liv smacked the living crap out of Stephenie on one of them and stuff, and then how Stephenie, attacked Liv and put that knot upside her head and everything. And I thought this match was they were gonna just go all out in this match, and they didn't. The match was okay, mediocre. Like I said, it could have been a match that could have been a match that was on, Raw. Could have had it on Raw or Saturday Night Main Event, something like that. Not on the spotlight of WrestleMania. This is the Super Bowl. These matches are supposed to be like every match is supposed to be like a main event match, and it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. But it ends up with Roxanne Perez getting involved, and Raquel Rodriguez getting involved, and eventually Liv hits Stephenie with the Oblivion and wins the match and becomes the women's world champion again. And then it's kind of like a little break. John Cena comes out, because he's the host of WrestleMania 42, and then he comes out and he gives an attendance announcement, and the attendance there were 50,816 people. I guess it was okay for night one. Wonder how many people they had to how many of those tickets they gave away though. But anyway, to get that crowd, and then all of a sudden you hear the EST music come out, and everybody goes nuts and stuff. You know, the outfit that Bianca Belair had on was a pretty nice outfit. I'm sure she's the one that made it and stuff like that. She came out looking all glam and everything, and then, thanking the people, for, wishing her and praying for her when she was out with her, broken knuckle and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden she reveals she's pregnant. She's gonna have a baby. So congratulations to Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. You know, I pray all the good goes there, goes with them, and everything goes well with her and the pregnancy, and for her and the family and stuff. So that was a good thing. That was probably one of the highlights, best thing of WrestleMania is that. So we probably won't be seeing Bianca Belair. Maybe not until not this SummerSlam, but maybe next SummerSlam. Maybe probably not next WrestleMania either. It'll probably be somewhere after next year's WrestleMania. She's not gonna make that trip and stuff, or it could be later in the year next year. So, but anyway, congratulations to Bianca Belair on that. And then we get Pat McAfee coming out. You know, his music hits and stuff. You know, and he comes out and he's flipping everybody off and stuff like that. You know, and then Randy Orton, he comes out and stuff. You know, and then Cody Rhodes. So it's Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. You know, for the undisputed championship. Um, and then before the bell rings, Pat McAfee, he attacks Cody Rhodes, you know, and they, him and Randy kind of beat Cody up a little bit and stuff like that and stuff. I mean, they come out and then Jelly Roll, he comes out, and man, Cody hits Pat McAfee, puts him on the announcer table, and then Jelly Roll jumps from the other one announcer table and he jumps on Pat McAfee and takes Pat McAfee out. He splashes him through the table and stuff. And then as Pat McAfee is leaving through the within on the stretcher and everything, he splits people off, leaving the leaving the audience and stuff. But anyway, the match gets going with Cody and Randy. You know, and again they do the same thing. You know, Cody hits Randy with the crossroad. He kicks out. Then eventually Randy RKO's Cody and he kicks out, and then they do each other's finishes on each other, and and stuff. And so as the match is going on, Cody ends up, I mean, Randy ends up RKOing, the referee, and so there's no referee for the match. And then him and Randy and Cody continue on fighting, and Cody, Randy RKO's Cody, and then out comes a referee, and it's Pat McAfee. And as Pat McAfee comes to the ring, he gets in the ring instead of making a fast count to when he does a regular normal count and stuff. Cody kicks out and everything, and he hits, he kicks out, and then Randy Orton gets up and him and Pat McAfee's face and stuff, and he says something to Pat McAfee, and all of a sudden he turns around, he RKO's Pat McAfee, and then Cody Rhodes grabs Randy Orton and he crossroads him, and then the referee comes through and stuff, and then he counts 1, 2, 3, and Cody retains as undisputed champion. And so as Cody's been, has gotten beat up and stuff through all of this and everything, Randy snatches the belt out of his hands, and then he clocks Cody with the belt, and Cody is down. And then Randy gets into that. Oh man, he starts pounding, pounding, pounding. He backs up into the corner, and he kicks Cody's head clean off his shoulders and stuff. So Cody is down and out. Randy grabs the belt and he stands over him and stuff. So I believe this feud is not over. I think they'll probably milk it through either Backlash or try to get it milked through SummerSlam. But Cody's going to probably lose the title. Not sure who he's going to lose the title to. I don't know why Randy wasn't able to win this title to get number 15. It could be because because Triple H has 14 title holds too, and I guess he don't want anybody to go you know above him with that. So I guess I'd rather have Randy tied with him at 14, you know. But I think if Triple H gets fired by the end of this year or sometime next year, I think Randy might still be there holding on to get, number 15. It might come up and stuff. So I'm not going to say he won't. But I think as long as Triple H is there, it may not happen. It could, but it may not. you know. But again, this WrestleMania 42 was sad. I'm hoping that WrestleMania 42 tomorrow night, day two, is better. I'm hoping so. The matches look like they could be better and stuff. We will see. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. And for that, thank you for watching. God bless, deuces, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.